psychotic phone calls. However, he wouldn't be the last person to follow Elizabeth's lead, as yet another day later, a third person spoke out, identifying themselves as Nick at the end of the twitlonger they made about Adam. It reads as follows. My history with Adam begins in the middle of 2017 after reaching out to members of Team Crafted/Nobody Media in hopes of gaining some experience in the film world while also helping out one of my childhood idols. Until this point, I had not met or seen Adam in the 3 to 4 months I'd been visiting the house members, until one night, I was not supposed to have gone back after the shoot. I left my bag inside Adam's bathroom but was told it would be better to leave it there. The general consensus was that Adam could not see me or he would be very, very upset. Tensions rose as Adam walked down the driveway in a robe and greeted me by name. He handed me his drink and asked if I wanted to sip while gesturing me towards the house. Phil and Jason were immediately worried about me, but I told them he was awesome and had no clue why they tried to protect me from such a nice guy. This is where the manipulation began. 3 months after meeting Adam face to face, he began interacting with me on a mutual level on social media, even inviting me to his birthday party, where I was able to meet almost everyone I grew up watching on the YouTube scene. At this point, he was with a girl named Felicia and spent a lot of time away from LA for business. In 2018, Adam entered a very bad time. I was able to come over less, and when I did, he was in his studio off copious amounts of mushrooms, room hotbox so effectively you were high upon even entering. In 2020, he had asked me to come visit to help him get out of his slump, and I obliged. But I didn't feel all the way safe being alone with him after seeing the way he behaved on Discord, so I took one of my close friends who Adam enjoyed the company of with me. Upon being picked up from the airport, we noticed the state of his house was that of an extremely distressed individual. We stayed for a week, taking him grocery shopping, taking care of the puppy, and handling some of the household chores that had been neglected for some time. Adam began opening up to me about what had happened in the past 2 years and the dark place he had been stuck in for quite some time. He spoke frequently about spiritual adventures where either he was God or possessed some type of power the rest of us didn't. I helped restore the house back to a livable condition before a week came to an end. Adam became a lot more comfortable sharing things I've never heard about him from his private life and expressed wanting me to stay with him longer so we could continue to get better. The week soon came to an end and Adam begged me to stay. Fortunately, the friends that I had brought had to return home and could not do so without me, so we headed back. The month after this, he would call me at random hours of the night, saying extremely cryptic riddles but never explaining what he meant before threatening himself in some fashion, then disappearing for days at a time, only to apologize and say he was working. He finally ends up admitting he took what he claims was upwards of 70 grams of shrooms, and that's why he was having such a bad episode. I flew back to Seattle, alone, this time to see Adam and help him with a music video for a song he had shown me. Liz picks me up from the airport and brings me to Adam's house. Liz would soon have to leave, and she and I exchanged info before she headed home. Adam immediately was less tense, and when I asked who she was, he referred to her as some Tinder girl, but I don't ever see her being my girlfriend. The fucked up part being Liz would have already been pregnant at this point. The week continued with me having to take care of Adam as he slipped in and out of reality, often severely injuring himself in the process. He needed me beside him to bathe because he was afraid of drowning. He'd speak like a baby, mumbling nonsense, shower, and walk around with only a blanket, refusing to put clothes on until falling into bed next to me. Yelling at construction workers across the street, calling them Smiths, all the while constructing some master plan to get Mason back. There's no way a child could live there. The house would get worse as I tried to clean it, and I felt myself being pulled further and further into a hole I didn't know the depth of. I finally went home and began to see the events of what was hidden from me unfold, beginning with the birth of Elizabeth's kid. I kept Adam added, and he would reach out randomly throughout the year with strange requests, like to add him on Facebook and work on videos. He's since pretended to move on and try to surround himself with new shields to defend the character he presents now versus the one who disregarded so many of the people he claimed to love. Adam is a lying, manipulative narcissist who should not be in a position of power, and I'd warn against trying to help. No matter how much I want to see the good in him, people need to be aware of what type of man he is. To this day, he will repeat, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it," and threaten himself at the first thought of repercussions for his actions. "I'm sorry, but I can't be responsible for you."
Also on the 24th, a user named Skelly posted another twitlonger, explaining that Adam had been essentially trying to love bomb and manipulate him, only to have him come over and take care of Mason for him while he went to his bedroom. Skelly also corroborated Elizabeth's claims that Adam abused their dog Albert, feeding it things it shouldn't eat, throwing it outside whilst it rained, among other things. According to Skelly, Sky had everyone around him do everything for him, from waking him up to scheduling his activities, contacting business opportunities, and coordinating collaborations for him. Adam would do shrooms every single day, lie about quitting to get things he wanted, tell people about his hallucinations as if they were real and call them stupid if they didn't play along, make non-consensual advances on people around him whilst under the influence, video call people in his underpants or naked, call himself God, demonize anyone who he thought wronged him or are no longer in his life, show people pictures of his semen, guilt trip Skelly into naming his son Adam, and after all of that, never pay him a dime for his work. With all these testimonies coming out in a row, both from people who worked with him and people who were part of his personal life in one way or another, Adam was painted as a pretty calculating abuser, as opposed to the image that the general public public had of him, of a guy struggling with mental health who couldn't get a break. Following this close-set sequence of allegations, Sky went close to radio silent on these topics, which puzzled a lot of people since some of the claims made, particularly by Elizabeth, crossed well over into criminal territory, and if she was lying, he could easily sue her for defamation. Again, whilst these are just allegations, Elizabeth shared reports from 2 different police officers who reported Adam was not only belligerent, but possessed by manic delusions, so whatever response he could give would have to be extremely good, otherwise it would do nothing but fuel the fire burning on his name at the time. Liz herself posted the DM which Adam sent to Drama Alert, claiming that the allegations were a mix in regards to their veracity, but besides that measly response, nothing really materialized. February went by, then March, April, and nothing of significance came from him besides a page on FameSwap, wherein it appears that Sky had just put his channel up for sale for nearly $1 million, which as far as I can tell never happened. In that same month of April, another of Sky's exes, Dawn, tweeted something in response to the Jay Aubrey video that had recently come out about the allegations. She revealed that all the way back in 2012, before he was as huge as he would soon become, Sky was already abusive, as during play fighting, he put her in a real headlock which didn't allow her to breathe until she was rendered unconscious. After she woke up, Adam expressed that he didn't intend for that to happen, but I don't know how realistically it's possible to choke someone out on accident, especially when they're clawing and biting at you to stop, as Dawn describes herself doing. Still, nothing from Sky's end. Sky waited for almost a year and a half before speaking about the allegations, and by the time he did, many people had long lost their interest in this case since it was inactive. In July 2023, he took to Twitter to attempt to clear his name, saying, "After 2.5-ish years focusing on my mental health, taking in what everyone said and thinks and trying to process, I just want to say I'm sorry anyone ever felt so negatively of me. I make mistakes, but only ever try to be a good person. After speaking with professionals leagues beyond me, I think it's in everyone's best interest to let them handle everything in the personal realms of life. That's what they've dedicated their lives to. After all, I only know my life. I have no immense making plans or happy ending ideas in my head with anyone, and I think it's best everyone just moves on with their own lives. As has been stated, I was just always an emotional guy trying to help others, make others laugh, and along the way, lost focus. Just as you only know your life and one perspective in that life, I only know mine. I'm not the horrible monster I've been made out to be. It hurts, and it's a lot of what it's taken time to process. I've laughed, cried, put emotions and resources and more to a lot of the very people describing me as a horrible person over mistakes resolved already, and already in the process of healing. It's just all been very confusing, and I'm not asking for sympathy, just understanding whilst I continue to work through it all. I'm not really interested in being Sky anymore or a YouTuber, but rather just a human being, focusing on improvement, creating things behind the scenes, once in a while telling you what I'm working on, and maybe some music once in a while, as it's therapy to me and my wife. I have been doing okay for those who are interested. I'm married to my wife Wendy, making an album, shooting music videos with her, and have grown past internet drama and things that lower my connections to God and higher frequency, as we get closer to awakening as a species, the end times, the solar flash, etc., whatever you want to call it. I don't focus too much on the internet anymore due to spiritual beliefs, but I do know you're all out there who've supported me and just wanted me to get better. I just wanted to say to those of you who wanted me to get back to a space I was at before, I appreciate you, and saw the redemption stories you all wanted from me so much. I'm off drugs, I'm eating healthy, and really alchemically focusing on my mind and my body. Thank you to those of you who just wanted to better me. I saw it. I just personally hit a point of pressure. I never wanted to be some perfect non-human idea of everyone's old hero. Those were confusing and left me in a weird spot of never knowing how to come out and say, guys, I'm just a guy who makes funny videos, employed friends which cause emotions to be included, has a booming ass voice and viper tongue, and makes just as many mistakes as you during the process of learning and life. I've been living in acceptance of my bipolar schizophrenia over the last 2 years, and my wife Wendy has helped a lot, but it took a long time for me to understand what was happening to me as it developed over the past 5 years. Thankfully, I'm in a place where I feel comfortable enough to let everyone in again, and hopefully look to the future. I'm excited to show you the things I've been working on behind the scenes. I'm not really interested in talking about anything negative anymore, and to those of you who were there for me during my lowest, thank you.
Again, what we're seeing here is a discrepancy between Adam's self-perception as a regular guy struggling with serious mental health issues and how he's described by third parties as a manic manipulator and abuser. While this tweet sort of explains why he hasn't defended himself from the accusations in any way because he's not interested in things he considers negative, it doesn't really do anything to clear up what way exactly he isn't the monster he's been painted to be. A couple of months after this statement was posted to Twitter, he posted a video to his channel called Where Have You Been?, wherein he vaguely reiterates some of his statement while wearing religious symbols and then tells people to join a Telegram to stay updated. A little while after, he posted another update to his YouTube where he appeared with his new wife and announced that he was now the COO of Storyfire. If you don't know what Storyfire is, it's basically this YouTube, Twitch alternative platform that was launched a few years ago. It never really went anywhere. And by the way, it was created by McJuggernuggets.
Dad, you're not touching this. You're not. Get away, put it back. What are you gonna chainsaw me? What are you, Dad! 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 Dad!
While Adam doesn't seem psychotic, something still feels off about the things Sky is saying and his presentation. It's almost as if he's holding on to some phantom of himself of early 2010s Minecraft YouTube humor, but in a very decrepit form. Throughout the video, he mentions there's going to be a documentary released covering the last 3 years of his life, and that he's been saved by Jesus Christ. Over the course of the following months, he started uploading Minecraft videos again, and I should note, not in a new format that makes an attempt to capitalize on how the platform has changed since 2013, but the exact same way he used to do it 10 years ago. As you can imagine, this wasn't very successful, and the shilling for Storyfire definitely didn't help with popularity, since at this point, Storyfire's public